How's it going, everyone, and welcome back to my FIFA 17 Fulham career mode. This is episode 47 now, and in the previous episode we kickstarted our brand new season, of course, Champions League season this year. We shall be looking to hopefully do well in there. Last episode we took a view of our board expectations. We started the training sessions for the season, and we also made a couple of bids for a few players, and we also started off in our pre-season tournament with a win over Mainz. So a few transfers have gone through. Our scouts have come back with a couple of players that we've started to scout a little bit further as potential new signings. Alexander-Arnold is looking to come into the club very shortly, as is Ben Chilwell and Rob Holden as our first three signings of the summer. Defensive-minded signings, of course. We'll then be looking at midfielders and, more importantly, a striker. I think I'll probably turn my attentions to a striker next, because he will be exactly what we're looking for. Something I forgot to sort of do as Iheanacho and Holding went back to their respective clubs, their parent clubs, shortly. Sorry, I'll start that again. Right. What I'm trying to say is, as Iheanacho and Rob Holding went back to their parents' club because they were only on loan here, their wages have gone back into our budget, so we can actually play with this transfer a little bit more. I don't think we need that much money in the wage budget, so I'm going to currently have it as about 108,000. That should be enough. It gives us 15 million to spend. Of course, we've already spent a little bit of that on Chilwell, Holding, and Alexander-Arnold, although we haven't actually signed them just yet. And then we shall hopefully by that time we'll have had a striker come in. We're into our second game then of pre-season. It's against Sporting Gijon. There's a few players who are still out on international duties, so I shall go and set up a rotation side, and I'll see you at the start of the game. So then we are into our second pre-season friendly fixture against Sporting Gijon of Spain in the Valtins Arena. It, of course, doesn't run through the team lineups, which is a little bit of a shame. I have made quite a full, well, not a full rotation side, but as rotational as possible. As you can see, though, both Aluko and Hosbed start up front. I've brought McDonald into the midfield, although I think he actually played last game. I've started Johansson this time. Kenny starts instead of Rossi, who was looking a little bit tired. Fredericks has come in. The defence is that of Ream, of course, started the last game, and Sigurdsson both started the last game. He's just short on centre-backs at the moment. And then I've brought in Aaron Lewis, who's returned back from his loan spell. I've brought him in at left-back to see how he gets on today. And Aite also starts down on this left-hand side. So that's pretty much our team lineup. And let's go and see if we could secure a place in the next round by taking 3 points here today. Aluko, Hosbed, back to Aluko. This is how they've partnered so many times. And Sonny Aluko will tuck that one away for 1-0. He was unable to score in the first pre-season fixture, but with just 19 minutes here in the second, it's that very famous partnership of Hosbed and Aluko, and that shipped through ball that has done us wonders this season. Although Aluko's looks like he's on his way out of the first team, Hosbed, of course, will stay in the first team. Hopefully, our replacement striker will be able to get on the end of those chipped through balls just like Aluko can. And this time he's took good on his chance, and we are 1-0 up here. Here is Aluko. Chip it back through to Hosbed. No idea what Julio, the defender's, doing there. Good save. Aite makes it 2. Fantastic here. We are absolutely cruising in this pre-season tournament. If only all of our games could be this easy. We know that the Champions League will definitely not be this easy, but so far we've scored 5 and conceded 0, and this was absolutely fantastic. I have absolutely no idea what Julio is doing. Hosbed you'd expect to probably actually do a little bit better than that, but it was a good save by the goalkeeper, and fortunately it flew straight to Aite, and he's only just managed to turn that one in. It was quite a rapid effort from him. The ball was coming into him at some pace, but pretty much at half-time, on the 45th minute, it is 2-0. Just can't quick the ball over to Aluko there from Aite, and that is half-time. So, as I said, we are going all guns blazing here in the pre-season tournament. Aite popping up with a goal on the stroke of half-time to double the lead, thanks to Sonny Aluko's opener, and at half-time it's Sporting Gijon 0, Fulham 2. So Deportivo Alavas are beating Mainz which pretty much sees them go out. And I think Alavas also lost their first game, so they'll be on 3 points, we'll be on 6, and Gijon will be on 3 points. So it'll all come down to, well, actually we won't technically be through, but we should be through on goal difference there. Hamburg are level with Ingolstadt, and Montpellier are defeating Sheffield Wednesday. Montpellier, who lost their opening game, and Wednesday, who drew, so that puts them ahead of there momentarily. And I think due to that other draw, it puts Ingolstadt on 2 points, Montpellier going through on 3 as it stands. This time at half time, I will make my 3 substitutes that I'm allowed. And it's going to be Malone at left back. I was quite impressed with Aaron Lewis in that first half. We'll give Rossi some more game time, but I'm actually going to give him game time over on the left. Now it says right wing. Kenny can play central mid. Give him game time over on the left. We'll see how he gets on. And I'm actually going to take Hozabed off just to make sure he doesn't pick up an injury. He's not going to continue his great run of goal scoring. But he only played 45 minutes, and no doubt as longer this match went on, he'd have probably been able to score should he remained on the pitch. But we'll make all 3 substitutions. You can see there that also Sporting Gijon made 1 substitution to freshen things up. So we'll jump into the second half. Aluko had other ideas. Well, that's a good ball. And Rossi! Oh, and Rossi has took that one away absolutely superbly. I tell you what, this kid does have some good potential for us. Kearney better be a little bit careful. It might even come to the point. I have been told a few times Kearney is very capable as a central midfielder. It does say obviously he can play central midfield, and I'm starting to wonder now whether we end our interest in actually looking to sign a mainstream central midfielder. I'll probably still want a couple of rotation players to come into the club, but actually move Kearney into the central role and give Rossi some game time over on the right hand side, because so far he's been absolutely fantastic. He got some game time towards the end of the season. Last season we scouted him in February. He popped up with a couple of assists, I do believe. Maybe just might have been just the one, but 1 or 2. Showed some very good promise to actually score some goals, and then I think he did actually go and score a goal in a fixture towards the end of the season. As I say that, Bettinelli makes a very good save, and he's popped up with an assist in the last game, and a goal for himself here as well. He's absolutely fantastic, and in fact he's having a great time over on this left hand side. He's running the defence ragged, and I think should Aluko pop that away, which he does, Rossi is going to actually get himself another assist. So 2 games for Rossi, 2 assists and a goal. He is absolutely shining in pre-season. But credit there to Aluko. It's a fantastic ball from, I'm not quite sure who that was originally to play into Rossi, but Rossi does very well. And credit to Aluko there for tucking it away. It was very tight with the oncoming goalkeeper, but Aluko also tucks away his second. We mustn't forget about that. He's looked very sharp in this game. And we are home and dry here. It's 4-0. Gomez is in here! Oh, that's a shame. Bettinelli's finally conceded a goal. He hasn't conceded a goal for a long, long time, but he's unfortunately been broken down. There's a little bit of poor defending by myself, to be quite honest. I'll probably take the credit for that, but he picked up the ball there from just outside the area, just pops into the D in the end. It's a wonderful strike, to be fair, and Marin Gomez has pulled one back here for Sporting. It's probably a little bit too late, but it could have helped their goal difference. In the end, we shall have to take a quick look at afterwards, but it's 4-1 now. And that then is going to be full time. So that game definitely came to light. In the 79th minute, it was 2-0. But in the end, it's finished by 4-1. We had 2 for Aluko, 1 for Rossi, and another assist for Rossi, and 1 for... I can't remember who got our other goal. We shall find out in just a moment. It was Marin Gomez who was able to pull 1 back for Sporting inside 90 minutes, just to make sure that our clean sheet record was removed. It was Aite who got the other goal for us. So another solid performance, and that pretty much puts us through to the knockout stages. It's finished at full time. Sporting Gijon 1, Fulham 4. And so we'll take a look at the other result. Deportivo Alavas won 2-0. So that puts them, I think... Well, it's all going to be very close, actually. It puts Mainz pretty much out. We are as safe as houses, hopefully. We've had some transfer offers for Donnarumma and Johansson. 44 million for Donnarumma. That is huge. From Lazio. Sorry, from Benfica. Um, as much as I want to accept it, it's a lot of money, but Donnarumma, he's such a big player for us. And I want to give him that champ. I think I'm just going to reject all offers. I'm very tempted, but I just don't want to sell him. We stole him for a bargain there, and I really don't want to sell him. Another player I really don't want to sell is Johansson. However, so what we'll do is I'll actually throw. If you want to give me 5.5 million for him, you can have him, and I'll go and sign someone else. But not really too interested in selling Johansson. For players like that who are sort of like the fringe players, I will throw in counter offers, like ridiculously priced counter offers, and if they want to be silly and spend that money, then I think we'll take the money and run, and we'll go and sign a better player to fill the position. But again, not too interested in looking at that. We'll take a quick look at what that means to the table. So pretty much, it doesn't technically put us through, but with that 6 goal difference, it would mean that Alavas has to do some work on us, and it also means that Gijon have to beat Mainz in their next game by quite a few goals to put us out. It could actually, in theory, if Alavas beat us, let's say 2-0, that puts our goal. Well, they'd have to beat us 4-0 in reality for us to stand any chance of going out, and I can't see that happening the way things have been going. So we should advance forward a little bit. Still nothing back from those transfer offers. Hopefully we'll get a couple. They've Rob Holding's accepted. Well, they've accepted a £1.6 million bid for Rob Holding. He wants 40,000 a year, which is quite a lot in my opinion. But we have the wages to be able to afford these sort of players now. We don't want to be spending too much, but I think we can afford that. And I'm actually going to put him as important first team player because he will be our #1 centre back. We're still waiting for Chilwell to come back, and of course for Alexander-Arnold to accept his contract. Hopefully he will accept in this game. He hasn't. We've had a transfer offer for Hozabed of 22 million from Benfica. They're just trying to poach all of our players here. We're definitely not interested in selling him, I'm afraid. Not going to happen at all. I think I'd lose a lot of fans if I was to sell him. So still nothing on the other transfer fronts, which means we'll just go and jump straight into this game. Again, I shall go and sort a rotation side out, and I'll see you in a moment. So then we are into our final game of this pre-season tournament, in the group stages at least, and despite a huge defeat here, we should be, sorry, not despite us, unless for a huge defeat here, we should be through to the knockout stages, and a little bit more of transfer money should be coming our way following a successful game here. As long as we don't lose, we established it needs to be about 4-0 to Alavas for them to overtake us on goal difference. Would then also mean for Sporting Gijon to defeat Mainz by a very similar scoreline. 4-0 will put us down to 2, they're currently on -1, so they need to win by about 4 goals again for them to actually stand a chance of getting through. So we are pretty much through here. I haven't made too many changes to the lineup. We're very short on players at the minute, particularly with a couple of players out at internationals as well, and obviously the likes of Iheanacho and Holding currently, well, Iheanacho and Holding have gone back to their clubs and we're yet to replace them, but at the moment this team is doing absolutely fine. And Aite, oh-ho-ho! Well, hello. I think that was a complete accident, but we have started this game off very well. And I tell you what, Aite, just as I was saying, probably not going to be getting much game time this season, he has absolutely been shining here. That, I don't know what that was. That was just ridiculous. I want to take another look at that. It was a fantastic flick-on header by, let's see who it was who flicked it on. I think that is, let me, that is Lansbury. So he's flicked the header on, and then this from Aite, that touch to take it over the defender, and then smashes it home. What a finish, lads. What a finish. And we are just carrying on in 5th gear here. We are absolutely flying through this pre-season tournament. If only the Champions League group would be like this, we would be having a field day. But we're 1-0 up here at into half-time with the lead of a goal to nil, and there is the whistle. So our fantastic run of form in the pre-season tournament continues, and thanks to a superb opening goal from Florida with that lovely little touch over the defender, and then the volley smashed it into the back of the net, was absolutely superb. At half-time here, it's Fulham 1, Deportivo Alavas 0. And I'll just take a look at the other results. Mainz are actually beating Sporting so far, so we should definitely be going through. Sheffield Wednesday holding their own against Hamburg at 1 apiece, as is Ingolstadt and Montpellier. I haven't really been looking to see who will be going through that group, but we shall take a look after we finish this. Game, so we'll give Rossi another chance to put in a good performance. We'll give Malone some game time, and the same for Hosebed. And we shall head over into the second half, looking to seal out this victory. And there we go, that is going to be full time. So, a very successful pre-season tournament so far. We have made it through the group stages thanks to this 1-0 victory. It was 3-0, 4-1 and 1-0. So we've only conceded 1 goal. We'll take a look at who our opponents will be in the next round shortly, but for now it's finished full time here. Thank you to that man Florida for getting the goal early on, which pretty much was the only action in this half, in this game, to be quite honest. And at full time then, it's Fulham 1, Deportivo Alavas 0. So these are the results coming through there. Montpellier actually went on to beat Ingolstadt, which I think might put them through. Mainz drew with Sporting, which I think means Sporting go through, correct me if I'm wrong. And Hamburg defeats Sheffield Wednesday, which I'm pretty sure puts Sheffield Wednesday out. So we'll take a look in just a moment. We've got three things to deal with. So we've got some players coming in, which is nice. We've been given an additional 1.1 million, which is also very nice, because that pretty much pays for Alexander-Arnold, give or take, who's accepted the wage, he's accepted the contract, so we shall accept that. We still have 15 million left to spend, a little bit short on the wage budget at the minute, but our first player into the club, we'll take a look at him in a moment. Leicester have actually finally accepted our bid of 3.3 million, which is always very nice. He wants a 4-year contract of 25,000, so that seems quite simple. And we'll give him important first team player, because that's exactly what he will be. So Ben Chilwell should be a very exciting prospect coming to the club, but one who is exciting is Trent Alexander-Arnold, who has come in to the team. 70 rated. He's got very good agility, very good acceleration, and very good balance and sprint speed and stamina, so a very quick right back, which will be very nice and handy. His passing is quite sublime as well. The rest of his stats are average, but for a 19-year-old, you'd say that's okay. He's 5'9", English, of course, but what's more interesting is he can play right back, right mid, centre mid, and cam. Now that could be huge for us in terms of rotation this time. He's not going to be obviously my starting right back, but if we need him to fill in at right mid or in the centre of midfield, he could certainly do that. Medium work rate, which actually is okay considering the position that he plays. Right foot as well. A 3-star weak foot as well isn't too bad, and also a 2-star skill moves for a 19-year-old right back. It's actually not too bad. So a little bit of a steal there. I'm very, very pleased that we've been able to bring Alexander-Arnold in to the club. We shall advance forward a little bit further to see if there's any other action going on, but you can see there we've actually been drawn against Montpellier in the next round, which means they did in the end just squeeze through, and I'm going to predict that it was Hamburg who also topped their group. Rob Holden has accepted his contract, so we'll bring him back to the club. We don't really need to take too much of We don't really need to take too much of a look at his stats because we know all about him. But that is our central defender issue sorted for at least one position. So I'll just wait till Chilwell comes in, and then we'll start to consider some other signings. Of course, should have given our scouts some time to look at some players. We'll have a quick look actually at any players that they've come in a moment. We'll just advance as far as the Montpellier game to see if anything else happens. Lorient are going to back out of the Johansson deal, which is fine. So still just waiting on Chilwell to accept his contract. Hopefully, if he can do this before the start of the Montpellier game, which he can't. If scouts found all he can in Belgium, so That's going to be that for now. We're going to go and take a look at what our scouts have come back with. So in terms of centre-backs then, they've added Nico Alvedi to that. So we're scouting these dudes. We'll send a scout out to look at him as well. Here, not too sure who he is, but he actually looks like a very good, promising young player. We shall ask him to scout that. So that's the centre-backs sorted. In terms of strikers, they've added Tammy Abraham, who I thought played for Chelsea, but clearly has gone to Manchester City. We've also found Ray Menard from Inter Milan. We shall scout him as well. He looks quite interesting. Dominic Solanke. I'm a massive fan of Dominic Solanke. If we could bring him to the club, I think that would be huge. I'm going to scout him and keep my eyes on him. His contract expires in 12 months as well, which means we could get him on a cheap. Tammy Abraham we will scout, but I think playing at City he could be quite expensive. The same with, unfortunately, with Solanke. He could be quite expensive. The wage budget, I mean, just because he is currently playing at Chelsea. We'll also scout Thierry Ambrose, another Man City youngster. So that's all those scouted. Got a couple of days on those to look at. And then some central midfielders. We have found actually a lot more players here. We're currently scouting these. They found Adam Nagy, who we shall also ask to scout. Asane Diuse, we shall throw a scout on. Stefano Sensai, who I've actually heard quite good things about him, so we'll throw a scout onto him as well. Matthews Pereira, he looks interesting. Rolando Mandragora from Juventus, probably a very promising young player, but again could be quite expensive just because of the team that he currently plays for. The same with Valentin Varda of Roma. Andrea Barbaris of Crotone looks quite interesting as well. Timothy Fosu-Mensah is a fantastic youngster on this game who I would definitely be interested in looking to bring into the club should I be able to afford him. Casey Palmer of Wigan Athletic could be interesting. We shall scout him. Lewis Cook of Bournemouth, a very good young player as well. Of course, Bournemouth, of course, having a very good couple of seasons in the Premier League, as we know. I think they've actually been relegated down to the Championship in this season. I don't think they've come back up. So Chennai Tarashaj from Everton also looks like an interesting player. Edmilson Fernandez we shall scout. They're being scouted. Ruben Loftus-Cheek is of course a very good player, as I think most players know, but could be quite expensive. So that's all for the central midfielders. So a lot of players there that we are scouting, and we'll be looking to hopefully bring a couple of those to the club. Before we go, let's take a quick look at who is the other side. It is Hamburg and Sporting who actually end up going through. So Sporting went through by a point, and then the other group, you can see there 7 and 6 for Montpellier, 7 for Hamburg in the end. And just before we go, I want to see how much further I should say, the World Cup has advanced, and I think I've probably gone the wrong way. I have. It would have been a lot better off going the other way because it's very slow. So it's actually advanced all the way to the semi-finals, so we'll quickly look at that in a minute. So Spain and Uruguay beat Poland and Wales, which you could say, okay, fair enough. France and the United States, quite interestingly, ahead of Chile and Romania. Colombia and England, I'd have said yes. Would have liked England to top that group, really, but okay. Greece and Argentina, yes. Germany and Cameroon, probably makes the most sense. Turkey and South Africa are very surprised at... Well, I say surprised, I'm not really surprised. I think I said Turkey would definitely get through, but probably wasn't really expecting South Africa over the Czech Republic, to be quite honest, but never mind. Italy is always nice. Of course, I think Donnarumma probably playing in net for them. Probably just conceded the one goal there. They get through with Côte d'Ivoire, which you'd have probably said yes, makes sense. And Brazil and Russia, unfortunately, Sobi is no longer involved in the World Cup, but I think he's actually still there, which is interesting. He definitely hasn't come back to us yet, so obviously they stayed there a little bit longer, although Egypt didn't quite make it out of the group stages. So never mind, moving on into that then. Spain beat the US in the round of 16, Colombia beat Argentina, Germany beat South Africa, and Italy beat Russia on penalties. France beat Uruguay, England beat Greece, Turkey beat the Cameroon, and Brazil beat the Ivory Coast to get into the quarterfinals, which meant that Spain then went on to beat Colombia to book their place in the semis. Germany beat Italy to book their place against Spain. England beat France, nicely done, to get into the semi-finals. And Brazil beat Turkey to face them. So it's England, Brazil and Spain, Germany in the finals of the World Cup in Russia, which means Italy didn't... well, they made it because of the quarters, Donnarumma and co. So both of our players that have gone off to the World Cup unfortunately haven't made it too far, but never mind indeed. And that is going to be the end of today's episode. So thank you guys so much for watching. Be sure to drop a like on the video if you did enjoy. Why not subscribe as well if you're new around here. And until next time, goodbye.